Go tell it. With his high beams, he took his troubles head on. The answer came to him, it was a quick one. Gotta get out of this place. But he couldn't look down. The checks began to rumble. The answer came to him, it was a quick one. Better hold on tight. Go tell it on the mountain. Go tell it on the mountain. Go tell it on the mountain. You're not gonna have to save a place for me.
Ferocious stuff. Go tell it. 11th Dream Day on Sound Opinions. the best guitarist in the band, Jim Elkington, tearing it up on top of that song, and the second best guitarist, Rick Rizzo, ushering it out. Jim comes on board fairly recently, right? You mentioned this name earlier, Wink O'Bannon. He was the second guitarist at 11th Dream Day. Baird Feige early on. You guys were known for these great guitar duels. Then a long stretch of 11th Dream Day being a one-guitar band, for all intents and purposes.
Right.
Little other stuff here and there. How did Jim come on board? How is it being a two-guitar band again?
Well, we were playing a show at Millennium Park here in Chicago, and it was on our last record. And Janet broke her ankle the day before the show. So Jim, being the multifaceted guy he is, he plays drums. I had to teach that day that we were playing at the park. That was my
Because it's
right.
a small gig, for like 50,000 people,
Yeah.
right?
And Jim learned, they practiced together, Doug and Mark and Jim. And Jim learned all the songs on drums. Janet sat up there and played tambourine and sang. But this guy's good. And so, and he went on tour with us on that record too, to Europe, and ripped it up. And it just felt right. It felt great. So when we recorded, of course, Jim, he had to play. And now, he knows too much. He can't get out.
Now you're in for 30 years, Jim.
Yeah, if I've gone
He's got 30 years to spare. We
Yeah.
don't.
There you go. Before we get too far away from it, Rick, I want to talk about the lyrics of Go Tell It. Now, you're reinterpolating, reimagining, referencing, whatever you want to call it, Go Tellin' on the Mountain there, the famous spiritual. What are you doing there as a songwriter?
Oh gosh. Well, I was getting into my past a little bit. My mom used to sing that song. She sang "Go Tell Aunt Bessie." I know it's "Go Tell Aunt Rhody," but it was the first lullaby that I remember, and it's so kind of dark. The old great goose is dead. He died in the woodshed. He died in the wood. But I was recalling my mom and my past, which I was trying to deal with in lyrically on this on the songs that I wrote for this record. But it's a really affirming lyric overall. I know that the situations are dark. Going on the back roads with your high beams and oncoming traffic, and standing on at High Bridge in Kentucky with the train coming, which I actually did. for fun, not to do anything dangerous. But but the song's about really, I'm okay, I'm coming out on the other side, all right.
Yeah, most people when they get introspective and dark, they get quieter. You guys are going in the opposite direction.
I felt I had to scream it a little bit.
I'm always telling Rick to turn it up.
Yeah, there are no ballads on this record, Janet. I understand that was your doing to some degree.
Kind of. I thought that we just. I suppose there's some softer songs on the record, but I don't know. I think that something kind of cohesive and just like a freight train, with nothing really to slow it down in between would be really good.
A freight train, very good. You guys have done a bunch of records. You mentioned Bettina earlier in the interview, Jim. Bettina Richards, who was then I think you were one of the first bands she signed when she was a young talent scout at Atlantic Records. She's now been the owner of Thrill Jockey Records in Chicago for the last 2 decades, and you've been recording for her label in that period of time. In that time, you've built what I think is kind of a unique business model for a band, and I want you to talk a little bit about the idea of a band being able to basically keep 3 core members for as long as you guys have had, the 3 of you in the band, and recording every 2, 3, 4 years, consistently good records, and not turning it into, let's jump in the van. I think when people think about bands, they think about 24/7 living together in the clubhouse, and let's all make a record together and then go on tour and do this for year after year. And you guys certainly aren't that model at all. Has it been good for the creativity for you to be writing songs in that sort of an environment as opposed to, I'm thinking about this 24/7?
Yeah, we were never that kind of band that would go to the rehearsal space and start to jam and get a song out of it. So it's not really that different in that regard. But when we do have material, we get together, we practice for a couple of weeks, and We've been playing, doing these little residencies, like playing every Sunday at a place like the Hideout in Chicago, and just getting the stuff ready so that when we go in the studio, we did 13 tracks on this record total, and we recorded them all in the first night. So, and I like the way that translates. That energy translates to your recording, and it gives it some immediacy. But we don't have a big budget, so we go in and we blast them out, and that's how we keep doing it.